Good afternoon, Mann here. I'm about to give you a workshop all to do with notation in music. Most ukulele players, most people that I know anyway, play the ukulele, generally play from tablature, which is a fantastic system, but you know, it would be really useful if you all learned how to read music. Now, I mean, 15 minutes, I'm not going to be able to teach you how to read Beethoven's symphony, far from it. But what we are going to do is just going to look at some basic notes that make up musical notation. As far as the ukulele is concerned, all notation, in standard notation at least, is written out on a treble clef. I've got treble clefs here alongside me. This is the treble clef. Two little numbers mean time signature. This tells you how many beats in a bar and what sort of beats they are. Now, in music we only use 7 different letters: A, B, C, D, E, F and G. And then when you get to G, start all over again with A, B, C, D, E, F and G. But on the ukulele, because of the way it's tuned, most people tend to gravitate towards the key of C. In other words, you've got chord of C, chord of F, chord of G7, chord of C, and a lot of things that people learn when they first start on the ukulele are pitched in the key of C. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on this afternoon. So we've got treble clef, time signature, and then we're going to look at the actual names of the notes as they appear on the stave and where they are on the ukulele. And I'm just going to deal with C, D, E, F, G, A, B and finishing on C. So that is a scale of C. No sharps, no flats. So if you're on the piano, no black notes at all. So middle C, that's what it looks like on the stave. We've got 4 of them there. These things, they're called crotchets. They're worth 1 beat. I've got 4 C's, 4 D's, 4 E's, 4 F's, 4 G's, 4 A's, and then on the next sheet we've got 4 B's and 4 more C's. So we'll start with the C's. Now that is your open 3rd string, so you're not going to fret it at all, and it's just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are your 4 C's. Now then, to play 4 D's, okay, we're still on the 3rd string, but this time we're going to fret the 2nd fret. So D, 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 D. So if you put these 2 bars together, it's going to sound C, 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 D, 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 D. And then the 3rd note in the scale of C is an E. And for that, we can play an open 2nd string. E, 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 E. So let's take all of that page and put those 3 bars together and we get C, 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 D, 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 E, 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 E. And then we move on to the 2nd page, F's, found in the 1st space in the treble clef, and it's played 1st fret on the 2nd string. F, 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 and then if you want to play a G, you're going to put the 3rd fret, 2nd string, G, 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 G. Now for the purposes of this workshop, I've decided to play G on the 3rd fret on the 2nd string. However, I know what most of you are thinking, you can also play G as an open 4th string. Your choice, but it would be a lot easier in the context of this to play the G on the 3rd fret, yeah? And then we get 4 A's, and that is the open 1st string. So now we're going to take it all the way from the C to the A, and here we go. 4 C's to start with. C, 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 D, 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 Okay, so we've played C, D, E, F, G, A. Now B is played 2nd fret on the 1st string and sounds B, 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 and then just move up 1 fret to C, 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 C. Now we can take it a little bit higher, and I've taken it a little bit higher than that. I've gone to 2 Ds and 2 Es. Now obviously the D is played on the 5th fret, the 1st string, and the E is played on the 7th fret, 1st string. So let's have a look at this page now, starting with the B. There's the B. B, 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 C, 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 D, D, E, E. Okay, now then, everything we've done up to now, the notes we've used have been crotchets, all of them worth 1 beat each. However, music is made up of notes of different lengths, crotchets, minims, semibreves, but shorter than crotchets are things called quavers, which are worth half a beat. That's what I'm going to move on to now. So, quavers are worth half the value of a crotchet, so that's to say 2 quavers equals 1 crotchet. And pairs of quavers are written like so. So we've got a pair of quavers, pair of quavers, pair of quavers, pair of quavers. So there's 8 quavers in that bar of 4 crotchet beats equivalent to 8 more quavers. Oh no, quavers, 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 a crotchet there. Now actually this bar is quite useful because we've got a pair of quavers worth 1 beat, a pair of quavers worth 1 beat, a pair of quavers worth 1 beat, and finally at the end of the bar a single crotchet worth 1 beat. So all the notes total up to 4 beats, as every bar should be in a piece of music where there are 4 beats, 4 crotchet beats in every bar. So let's just have a look at these 2 lines, which is composed essentially of quavers. We've got 8 quavers there, 6 quavers here, and a single crotchet. So if we beat time, say 1, 2, 3, 4, if that's the speed of our music and that is the beating of crotchet beats, we'll shoot the quavers are going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'll play that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now looking beyond there, this particular bottom line, this bar here, only 4 notes in that bar, and one might think, well, they're 4 crotchet beats, but they're not. These crotchets have got a dot after them, and when you see a dot after a crotchet or even a quaver, it means that the note is increased in value by half as much again. So if I just put my finger over the dot, point to that, it's a crotchet. It's worth 1 beat. But the little dot next to it means it's now worth 1.5 beats. Adjacent to it is a single quaver. Now, all of these quavers were written out in pairs. But when you get a quaver on its own, it looks like this. Little tadpole with a stick with a little tail on it. So that is worth half a beat. Remember, this is 1.5, that's half. Another of these dotted crotchets, so crotchet plus the dot, which is 1.5 beats, and then a quaver at the end of the bar, worth half a beat. So if we look, 1.5, that makes up to 2, that's 3.5, and that's the last half beat in the bar, which makes 4. And then if we look on this next page, exactly the same again, dotted crotchet, quaver, dotted crotchet, quaver, and then finally we have these 2 fellas here. These are minims. They just look like crotchets, but they're not filled in. They're worth 2 beats apiece. Okay, and then the last 3 bars of the piece, we have 4 crotchets, which we picked up at the beginning of the workshop, 4 more crotchets, and then 2 minims at the end. So every single bar on both of these sheets, they've all got a total of 4 beats in the bar. This is most important to remember, 4 beats in the bar, not 4 notes. Don't get confused with notes. The number of notes in a bar is signified by these little tadpoles here. There are 8 notes in that bar, 7 notes in that bar, 4 notes in that, 4 in that, only 2 in that bar, 4 in that bar, 4 in that bar, and only 2 in that bar. So let's have a listen to see what this bar and this bar finishing there sounds like. So we've got dotted crotchets now. Okay, we've got a scale of C, so C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then 2 C's there. I'm going to count 4 beats in the bar again. Remember, starting note is a middle C, so 1, 2, 3, 4, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, C. Okay, I'll just play that again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C. And then the last 3 bars, we've got 4 crotchets, and 2 minims. So 1, 2, 3, 4. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, C, C. Okay, putting it all together, start here and we'll end there. Counting 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, 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 B, A, G, F, E, D, C, C, C. Okay, next thing we're going to talk about are chords. The 4 chords which belong to the key of C. You probably all know them already, but we're going to have a look at them in a little bit of detail to see what the chords look like in standard notation as opposed to being on a chord chart. Okay, so chords. In the key of C, the 5 most useful chords are, they're written down here on the sheet. We have 3 major chords and 2 minor chords. So in the key of C, chord 1, the most important chord, is a C major chord. And it is played obviously with the 3rd finger, 3rd fret, 1st string, the other strings are open, but that's what it looks like in standard notation. So all the notes that you're playing, that's what they look like in standard notation. The chord of F is played. Now, you are actually playing 4 notes, but 2 of them, of course, are the same, and that's the A's. Your open 1st string and your 4th string fretted on the 2nd fret. So you're actually going to get 2 A's, an F and a C. And then I've put down here a G7 chord, because in the key of C, chord 5 is normally a G chord, but I'm sure that most of the stuff that you play at home, you would play a G7 chord, and that's played like that. Okay, and the notes that you're actually playing, you've got a D, an F, a G and a B. So that's what it looks like in standard notation, and that's a G7 chord. So if I were to play C major, F major, G7, and then back to C, it would sound like this. And of course, those three chords are known in the business as the three-chord trick. So many rock and roll songs were written and blues songs were written using those three chords. But in the key of C, there are other chords, obviously, but the only other two that you need to perhaps worry about are a minor chord based on the second degree of the scale, and that's D minor, and that is... sounds quite sad. Once again, although you're playing four notes, two of them are the same. You're playing two A's, just as you did with an F major chord. You're playing an F, you're playing a D, and it sounds like that. With an A minor chord, which is the chord built on the sixth degree of the scale, once again, you're playing two A's, there we are, and an E and a C. And to play an A minor chord is ever so easy. It's just second fret on your fourth string, okay? So now I'm just going to go through, starting with a C major, go to a D minor, F major, A minor, G7, and then I'll go back to where I started, which is C major. Because whenever you play a piece of music, you'll probably find that you probably start on the tonic chord, or the chord built on the first degree of the scale, i.e. in this case a C major chord, and you'll finish on a C major chord. So here we go, C major, E minor, F major, A minor, G7, and now I'm going to go to my C chord. Okay, so those are the four main chords in the key of C. Now obviously time doesn't really allow us to do a great deal more in this workshop, so all I would suggest you do is have a look at those chords, learn them, and then maybe you could think about learning 5 more chords, not in the key of C, but perhaps in the key of G. So you'd start off with a G major chord, like that. Okay, and then you'd go to C, and then you probably want to go to maybe D7, and then back to G. You can check out all the chords in ukulele chord books. They're very, very useful. That's the chords in the key of C major. Unfortunately, we haven't had enough time to talk about ensemble playing, because part of the workshop was about ensemble playing, but if I could just give you 1 or 2 tips regarding ensemble playing. I play quite a lot of solo music, but I do play with other musicians as well. A number of things that are very, very important to remember when you are playing in ensembles. 1, all of your respective instruments must be perfectly in tune, okay? Because there's nothing worse than ukuleles or stringed instruments sounding out of tune. It sounds absolutely dreadful. So make sure, if there's 4 of you, for instance, playing ukulele together, you might be playing, a concert, 2 tenor ukes and maybe a baritone uke. Well, make sure that they're all well in tune with one another. In terms of accompanying songs as a small group, just a word of advice or help. If, for instance, we are playing a song in the key of C, somebody is going to be going... Now, okay, that sounds great, but if you've got 4 people all doing the same thing, it's a little bit boring, and you could make it sound much more interesting by taking different parts, still the same chords, but doing different things. So for instance, somebody might strum, as he did there, but a second person might, the beginning of every bar may do a very, very strong. So the second person is just quite literally punctuating the chord at the beginning of each bar. Now, obviously, a third person can fingerpick. And of course, if you're playing with a baritone player, well, of course, because the pitching of the instrument is lower, you might even get the baritone player to play a bass line to it, and it will sound an awful lot more interesting than, say, four people all strumming together. Anyway, best of luck. Hope you've enjoyed the workshop. Hope you learnt something. Keep practicing. Enjoy your ukulele.